r/Askreddit by ListenToReddit. When did you realize you weren't a child anymore? Dropped my keys in a grocery store and a little girl scurried over before I could pick them up. She looked proud as punch for saving me from picking something up that was way down there on the floor. I wanted to hug her and smack her at the same time. It's official, I'm old now. Frown. Nope, old is when you drop something and look around to see if you can pick anything else up while you are down there. You have a ways to go yet. When I asked for a Swiffer wet jet as a birthday present. You know you're getting old when the candles cost more than the cake. When I had financial freedom from my parents, and began to struggle. That shit hits you like a brick wall. I thought I was independent when I was in college. I worked damn near full-time all the way through school, had plenty of disposable income. When I got my first job and the lifeline was truly cut, it hit me like an uppercut to the chin. Car insurance, groceries, rent that isn't for a shitty college apartment. It wasn't easy for the first couple years. And that's for those of us fortunate enough to hit those milestones in the first place. Can't even imagine where I'd be without being helped along like I have been. When being ill became an annoyance. As a kid, you get pampered by your parents and get to stay home from school. As an adult, the responsibilities you have don't magically go away anymore, so you're both miserable and stressed out. For almost 18 years, it was you have to go to school, I don't care if you're sick. For 2 more years it was sick day. I need a doctor's note, and you lose your bonus. No note and you're fired. I start university and I can skip a class if I'm sick. I worked at the school and it was if you're sick, stay home so you don't get us sick. I'm hoping that I can level it up again to you seem tired, just take Friday off. The difference between a good job and a bad job is when your boss says you seem tired, take a day off. As opposed to you can take a day off, but don't bother coming in on Monday. That's literally how Wells Fargo fired me. I took 2 sick days off when I was running a fever and blasting snot everywhere, and we worked on shared computers, so it was legitimately a health hazard. They got pissed about my 2 days off, so I came in the next day still lethargic and feeling like death, which they thought was unprofessional. When I got home that evening they called me and told me I was terminated effective immediately and to not come in tomorrow, or ever. When I realized that it costs money just to exist. I had recently moved into my first apartment and just loaded up on groceries at the store. Checked the mail when I got home and discovered my first water and electric/gas bills. I remember thinking it is going to cost me money to exist for the rest of my life. This speaks to me in ways I cannot describe. Just paid my bills and set a budget. Have not been to a bar in 2 months trying to save money. Good call. Homemade drinks and store-bought beer/cider are way cheaper than going out. When my spouse gave me a nose hair shaver for my birthday. Was at the barber a few days back and did not fail to notice he ran his clipper across my ear hole opening and hit some hairs on the way. I am my dad. 27 and still not sure. 32 and still a kid. Now, kids, your uncle is building a fort for himself out of cushions. Maybe he'll let you in if you ask. I know some 50-year-olds that are still kids. I am 54 and hide my still being a child behind the fact that I have 2 daughters aged 4 and 9, so I get to build enormous Lego towers, and watch lots of cartoons and eat ice cream, which is cool. I got the flu and vomited all over my room. I knew I was no longer a child when I was also the one to clean it despite feeling like hell. Edit, thanks for the silver kind stranger. Look at my comment, all shiny. Edit 2, also I am really enjoying all the vomit stories coming straight to my replies box. Keep them coming. They range from sweet to hilarious. This reminds me of when I was young. I felt like crap, grabbed a trash can, and went to my parents' room to tell them I was sick. Almost immediately I vomited into the can and they sprung out of bed like the house was on fire. The second they realized I puked into a bin, they told me to flush it down the toilet and got back in bed. When I realized the adults in my life has no idea of what they were doing, they were just winging it. That hit me like a baseball bat, when I realized that adults are not adult because they now know what they're doing. Rather because their parents' generation decided to not put up with their kids' shit anymore because they're 18 and good luck with that. When I was 13 I found an old box. I realized I hadn't played pretend in ages, so for the hell of it I sat down in the box and tried to see if I still could. I realized that while I was still an imaginative person, I could no longer see the scenarios and stories I used to play act in my head as a kid. When I pretended to be a princess, goddammit I could practically see the marble halls and unicorns around me. I couldn't anymore. Made me cry haha. I had a moment like that. I used to play with my dollhouse. Maybe once every 2 to 3 months I'd have an epic 3 to 4 hour play session. And one day it just didn't work. A story came to mind but the dolls never became the character. They just were dolls. It was deeply disturbing. What do you mean? Are you implying that I'm not a child anymore? I'm clearly still a child, and if you don't believe me, ask my wife. She'll back me up on this. I'm gonna set the grandkids on up unless they take that back. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Listen to Reddit.